You cannot expect other people to read your mind. Everybody's going through a crisis of one kind or another. But if you do not ask a question, they will not understand.
Yeah, there's no answer.
There's no answer. Never be afraid to say, I need support.
Okay.
Support is different from help. Help makes you dependent. Support is temporary.
To aid you.
Yes.
Sort of.
It's like people tend to say, if they are not financially stable at the moment, they say, I'm poor. You are never poor. You are temporarily out of funds. Poverty is a culture.
That. Yes.
Because when you're poor, you accept a culture. If you're temporarily out of funds, which everybody is, strapped for cash, it's very different thinking. Just believe in yourself, be patient, but be consistent. Talent is not everything.
But consistency.
Consistency and longevity is the key for success. You have to have courage to do what
others have not done.
Yes. Oh, anyway, we're still in a cave. No one is brilliant. They become brilliant.
Welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom, Your Business Journey, the podcast where we share valuable insights, resources, and motivation to fuel your entrepreneurial spirit. Let's build a supportive community together. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you listen to podcasts and be part of this journey.
This episode is brought to you by CME Accounting for all your small business accounting needs, Island Slice Rum for a taste of Saint Lucia in the heart of Scotland, and Future Fit HR for all your tech HR needs. Let's jump into our conversation. Welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom, Your Business Journey. My name is Angela Sindenis. I'm your host for today's episode. It gives me great privilege to welcome you to our first in-person episode. It is a great milestone for our show. And who better to have as our guest? A remarkable artist whose impact on the international art scene has been both profound and enduring. Born in Saint Lucia, Winston Branch OBE has built an extraordinary career in the fine arts, particularly in painting, with work that continues to inspire audiences around the globe. Winston's journey began early, studying art from a young age. At just 19, he attended the prestigious Slade School of Fine Art at University College, London. Upon graduation, he was awarded the Boys Travel Scholarship, followed by the distinguished Prix de Rome held at the British School in Rome. His global artistic journey took him to the United States, where in 1973, he became artist in residence at Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. Over the years, Winston has shared his knowledge and passion for art through numerous academic roles, including visiting tutor positions at the Slade School of Fine Art, Chelsea Art School, and Kingston Art School in London. Assistant adjunct professor at the University of California Berkeley, and associate professor at Kansas State University. Winston's work has earned him multiple prestigious accolades, including a DAA Fellowship, a Guggenheim Fellowship, participation in the Berlin Artists Program, all of this being achieved before the age of 30, a fellowship in Belize from the Organization of American States, and more recently, an honorary doctorate from Greenwich University in London. His paintings are held in the permanent collections of major institutions around the world, including Tate Britain, the Victoria and Albert Museum, the Museum of Modern Art in São Paulo, Brazil, and the Rugby Art Gallery and Museum in the UK. He also has residence at the University of California at Berkeley in the United States. All of these collections is a testament to the enduring cultural value and international acclaim of Winston Branch's work. Winston, welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom.
Welcome and thank you.
Were you lost in thought?
Astonished by all these accolades that I was going asleep. But welcome to my studio in London.
Thank you.
It's in Notting Hill Gate, in North Kensington. And also, welcome to all the people who are going to listen to your podcast. I'm honored to be joining it.
Okay, I'm truly honored to have you because as I read your accolades, I'm saying, oh my gosh, how did we land this one?
It just shows you what big fish can come out of a small pond. Saint Lucia has created many distinguished people,
yes,
including Sir Arthur Lewis, professor at Princeton and Nobel laureate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Derek Walcott, who I have his book here.
Yes.
And so forth and so forth.
Okay.
And Chief Justice
yes.
of the Federation of Nigeria.
That's
St.
right.
Stanley Alexander.
That is right.
Who happened to be my cousin.
Well, thank you for giving us that information. We hope to draw out some more of that from you as we go through the interview. But we want to get to know you a little bit. So we have a fun section called Rapid Fire. So this will help us to get into knowing who Winston Branch is. So if you could use a word to describe you as a young man or as a child, rather, what would that be? And one as an adult?
Well, I suppose curiosity. I think my life always began with the reticence of curiosity because as a child, I had no friends really. 5 acres of land in Mondidon before it became a slum. And the nearest person was the Degazos and the Phillips and various people, the Birches. So so drawing and painting was a kind of refuge.
Okay.
For making of things. And also being a Catholic, and I'm not drumming on Catholicism, but I think faith is very important. Mm-hmm. And the duality of the culture of Saint Lucia, which is French and British. But there's a very strong French dominance in Saint Lucia, which I will talk about that later, because that's what brought me back to Saint Lucia, which is Creole, Lang Maman.
Okay.
And nobody comes from Saint Lucia must not speak that language.
All right. So one thing, Winston, remember it's a business podcast. Remember,
of course.
Not the history one.
No. But J.Q. Charles, he was what I think is important to stress, two factors.
Yes.
Success does not depend on privilege. Success depends basically on humility and perseverance.
Yes.
Where you come from is very little to do with where you're going to end up. Okay. Because no one chooses their parents.
That's correct.
And people tend to say, I can't do this, I can't do that. I always say when I teach, you can do anything if you set your mind to it, because you alone can determine your path. You have to. And I had no privileges.
So I think these are very valid points, and I believe we'll be able to draw it out as we proceed into the various sections. But we want to get through the rapid fire a bit rapidly in that sense. But you haven't told me as a child, you were curious.
Yes.
So as an adult, did that change? Or
not really, because, I always kept this sense of inquiry, always ask questions. And I always say to people, you cannot expect other people to read your mind. Everybody's going through a crisis of one kind or another. But if you do not ask a question, they will not understand.
Yeah, there's no answer.
There's no answer. Never be afraid to say, I need support.
Okay.
Support is different from help. Help makes you dependent. Support is temporary.
To aid you.
Yes.
Sort of.
It's like people tend to say, if they are not financially stable at the moment, they say, I'm poor. You are never poor. You are temporarily out of funds. Poverty is
I
a
like that.
culture.
Yes.
Because when you're poor, you accept a culture. If you're temporarily out of funds, which everybody is, strapped for cash, it's very different thinking. So one must remember, because if you start a business, people say, well, I can't do it, I have no money. That's putting your foot backwards.
Yes,
if you're going forward, money will come.
Yeah, you
First,
look for
you
ways.
have to have a dream. If I see it in my head, I can make it happen in reality.
So whatever the mind can conceive.
Yes, you can do it.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for sharing that, Winston. So we have a number of books here. What's one book you would recommend to our listeners?
I hate to be biased, but I think one should read Derek Walcott. And he's an interesting person. I did not know him till his later years.
Okay.
And he cursed me out. When I went to meet him at the airport, when he won the Nobel Prize, he became the second Nobel laureate. And he arrived at VG Airport. But, people tend to curse you out in Creole, not as a rudeness, but a kind of camaraderie, So you have to understand.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So
what is the name of that book?
The White Egrets, which is, can you see it?
Is
no,
it
you
a
can't.
book of
You can only hear it.
Yes.
And of course, my dear and late friend, V.S. Naipaul,
yes.
who they both had something in common besides literature.
The Trinidadian, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got to know V.S. Naipaul late in life when he was a member of the Chelsea Arts Club.
Okay.
And one coolie to another, we seem to get on quite well.
Okay.
He even wanted to get me some scholarship to go to Pakistan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it never happened. The road to hell is paved with
good intentions.
but they never happened. God rest his soul.
But at least you had an opportunity to meet him and engage.
Oh, yes.
I
first knew about him when I read his book from a child.
Yes, a lot of his books were used in the Caribbean as secondary school literature books.
Yes. And he was a very influential person because he worked towards the federation with Eric Williams and Bustamante. But, like everything else, the synergy of the Caribbean is very hard to come together because this one talk about big island and small island.
Yes.
And we all one island. Yes, we are part of the archipelago of the South America. And I always say to people, I'm of two cultures. The one that I was born in, which is the New World, and the one that made me, that I live in, which is Europe.
Okay.
Because I came at a young age, so I assimilated the cultural values of Europe.
Okay.
But I have a dear friend here, who's my assistant. She is from Colombia, Cali. So I always keep in touch with people from Latin America. Okay. I think it's very important. And I think one of the greatest misgivings that in our education system we haven't really fostered. But I think they're paying attention. Pierre-Louis is paying attention.
Okay.
It's the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Jean-Pierre.
Yes, Philip Pierre.
Yeah.
And, the Prime Minister of Saint Lucia you're referring to.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should teach our children Spanish because the big continent is Spanish speaking.
Yes.
Except for Brazil, which they
Yes, we were always grouped with Latin America and the Caribbean.
Yes. So we should, do...
Okay.
Good.
All right. So excellent. So we'll tackle two more questions on the rapid fire. Is there a fun fact that people don't know about Winston?
Well, I don't have any fun facts. I don't have fun. My life is...
But you always make me laugh, so they must be something.
Because I try... Laughter is the key to keep you sane.
Okay.
If you don't laugh, you go crazy.
So in that case, is there a memory from your childhood that every time you think about it or your youth, it brings a smile to your face?
Well, lots of them, because I remember when I was learning my catechism for confirmation, I was a priest of Vino, and we were in a pew in which was later became the cathedral, but it was just the Immaculate Conception. And this boy was in a pew, and the priest said to him, "What is hope?" Which is the part of the articles of the Beatitude. And he said, "Hope is a motorboat, Father." And the priest took out the strap and beat him because they said, "Hope, are you making fun?" And he said, "I just saw it, Father, by the harbor. The boat was Hope."
Yes.
So the priest said, "Don't be ridiculous." And I always think of that how subconscious, we were about 11, 12, confirmation.
Yes.
That what he had just saw, he memorized. And when he heard the word hope,
this is what came to mind.
Hope is a motorboat. And in fact, it is a motorboat because you have to have faith and life is a journey. So indirectly, he was saying something very profound.
That is very true.
But the priest was superficial with the strap and loved to beat you. They just loved to beat you. And in those days, if you got a beating at school and you went and complained, you got another one for getting a beating in the first place. Where now, today, the teachers are being beaten by the parents and the parents are getting all aggravated. But love and respect for teachers was very important.
Yes.
I got a lot of strap.
Were you a naughty boy, or is it that you just caught in the...
No, it was, I went to when I came out of the convent, I failed my exam to go to the college, St. Mary's College. All my family had gone there, all my brothers, my father and all that. But, there's a kind of way of teaching which I oppose. Teaching is imparting information, not terrorizing.
Correct.
And so I was, as I said, I was a shy person. So, they say, "What's this? What's that? What's that?" And, you, like hope is a motorboat. You can, you jump. And so before you can answer, you get a feel of leather on your back. So we used to have to put some exercise books underneath our khaki shirts.
Oh,
because these teachers, they love to give you strap.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
That was certainly an experience. So let's move on now, because we want to talk a lot. We want to dedicate a lot of time to your artistic prowess, your business development. When did this, in the beginning you spoke about getting into art to deal with the imagination, to express your imagination. But beyond that, taking it seriously, when did that start?
Well, the first thing, and I have always said, when I came to England and then I went to the museum, like the National Gallery, the British Museum, and I saw paintings and sculpture, I knew there was a possibility for me to pursue this. Because in the Caribbean, with all the good intentions, they thought you were local. Because they look at it differently. But in my time, in the 50s, people didn't take you seriously. Most people like Mr. Simmons, who drew, and Saint-Hubert, who was most of his ego rather than his skill. But that is because he had no formal training. And so you have to prove, and you become a braggart. Whereas when you come to Europe, there's so many different disciplines within the visual arts. You see the possibilities.
Okay.
And so when I came, I saw it. I saw the Rubens, I saw the Vermeers, and I don't want to just name the paintings, but it's important. Rembrandts and Turners. And then I thought there is a possibility to do this, to dream, to discover. I discovered the old masters before I discovered Picasso and all those people. And looking at how the evolution of painting evolved from Cimabue all the way, Michelangelo to Raphael, and all the way right down Delacroix and later Winston Branch.
Yes,
and
of
so
course.
there was a whole kaleidoscope.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was invited to study at Slade, I was 18 and a half. And I got my letter on my 19th birthday, 1966, to come and study for 4 years. And I was immensely pleased. My whole life changed. And people say, why do you always talk about the Slade? Well, the Slade gave me an opportunity that without it, I might have been in Pentonville, Swanwood Scrubs, or in a madhouse. Because the opposite of these confinements, which I have talked about, is that's why a lot of kids go astray. It's not that they are bad, but they have no direction.
Okay.
And so I am not ashamed to say what was the other alternative. And because I didn't want to end up in those institutions, I was in another institution.
That allowed you to grow.
Yes, which was learning, which gave me nurture, which helped me. And my whole life changed. So I have a keen appreciation for education. But education is not intelligence. Education, I believe strongly, that is based on common sense. Because what we tend to mistake education for, memory of regurgitation. If you know what, when, where, what, when.
To answer the question correctly.
Yes. So that is, all you have to do is build memory. But that does not make common sense. So I think a learned man, an erudite person, is common sense, not what is experience of 1 and 1 makes 2. You ask why it makes 2.
Yes. So you understand the process.
Yes, it's very important. Not just memorizing things. God save the gracious Queen. Long live Victoria. You see, I remember that.
Because you had to memorize those during school time. Yes.
For Lababad and squash.
Yes, but I also think you have an excellent memory.
Well, yes, because that's development.
Yes.
That's development.
So, Winston, Slade, then there are a number of fellowships we mentioned. Tell us about those.
Well, it's interesting. I was very, I would not say ambitious, but I was very serious. As I told you, I went to the National Gallery, I went to the Tate Gallery, and I wanted to be part of that fraternity. And so the only way I knew how to be was 2 things. Take notes, read about the people, and all the information you need for success is very available. The public library is the key.
Yes, I must agree.
The public library is the key. And people, and bookshops.
Yes.
And so these are the facts which I did. And so I studied, and then it was very hard in my day at the Slade because we had to do anatomy, we had to do philosophy, which is why I'm able to talk to you and put my plan in, because that is the key, how to construct an argument or a perception of a perception of what you want to say. Because we had seminars, we were taken to the National Gallery and said, now you choose a painting, and next week you have to hold a class. And in the class we had 14 people. And you had to not say, I like this or I like that. That meant nothing. In aestheticism, you had to understand.
And then to teach.
Yes. So it was the beginning of, at first, the man who ran it was a Welshman, or Davis, Mr. Davis. He was a bit of a pansy. He wore a blue suit, and he used to come with a poodle. Never was friendly. He kept his distance. And he was very serious. He was not taking no prisoners. So we had to go and look at paintings and then talk about them.
Okay. So in terms of, you had a fellowship to Berlin. You had the... How did these come around and Belize?
Well, first of all, I was one day, when I graduated from the Slade, they gave me a traveling scholarship because I wanted really to go to Mexico to see people like Siqueiros, Tamayo, these great muralists. Because I look for artists within the diaspora of Latin America. I wanted to know about myself. And European painting is fine, but I wanted to know about me. Wilfredo Lam from Cuba. And so they gave me a pivot of an architectural structure. So if they could do it from where they were, the diaspora, I could do it too. So I looked at Roberta Mata from Chile. I looked at many painters. And so anyway, they said, no, you want too much money to go to Latin America. We're not giving you. You have rich friends, which they assume I had. Okay. And you can, you're very resourceful.
So you can get those
you can get
in.
Because before I graduated from the Slade, I had been going to art exhibitions and festivals long before. So when I graduated, I was a serious young man. I encourage that because I think there's no beginning and no end. You just have to get inside of it. You know what I mean?
Just get going.
Get going. Because if you start waiting for this and wait, you will wait forever. So that's how it happened. And then to support my painting, I had to get fellowships. And not all I got. I applied for lots of things. And some I got, some I didn't, but I didn't care. Those that I didn't get made me want to get more, stimulate me. I think rejection is a very important part of becoming successful, if I use the word successful. Because people are afraid to fail. There's no such thing as failure.
Because we're made to believe by society that, if you fail, then everything has gone wrong. You're not good enough.
No, I say absolutely no. I reject. Because I was talking to once a girlfriend of mine. Her father was a clergy. He was head of the boys' brigade or something.
Oh, and you managed to have her as your girlfriend?
Yes, he was. And she said to me, he was homophobic in those days. And a man who had graduated from Oxford with all the right credentials came, who was suitable for the job, but he wore a red tie. So that offended the chairman who was supposed to give him the job and assumed that man was a communist or an anti-Christ. And he didn't give him the job. And years later, he's recalling this at the dinner table, saying why he didn't give this man a job. He prejudged him. So no matter what the qualifications were on the table, it made no difference because the appearance of what he projected offended the man who was going to open the door for him, which was to give him the position.
So, staying a little bit on that, do you think that some of that still happens today?
Of course. We are human beings. That's why they tell you, always put your best foot forward.
But how do we do that? Because he perhaps on that day thought he was presenting the best foot possibly.
Well,
or maybe he didn't do his research.
Well, that's being philosophical now, research. But I think you look at the situation and you say to yourself, I want to get from A to B. Now, which is the best way?
Okay.
The best way is the way that is the conventional way. Everybody expects you to wear a blue suit and a tie.
Yes. Because
even we look at Trump, who went to the funeral of the Pope, and he wore, instead of a dark suit, he wore a blue suit. That's a day suit. He disrespected because you don't go to a funeral dressed in red. In Europe, you go with a dark blue, black suit.
Okay.
Yeah. So that became a thing. But he just imagined that you could go anyhow. But there are protocols, there are dress codes. If I'm going to an important event, I'm not going to go riggedy-diggedy. I'm going to put my best foot.
Like when you collected your OBE.
Okay. Well, yes, I wore a suit because you have to pay respect to the institute. And you're meeting someone that is important. If you dress, it's not like they're coming to my home like today. You're coming to my domain, and I'm a working artist. So I'm the way that I normally would be painting, scribbling, writing.
Yes, very true.
I wouldn't be wearing a suit and a tie because that would be pretentious. It'd be out of place. So I have to make you feel comfortable.
Okay. So when we talk about, this was a very good section. I was edified. So I'm certain our viewers and listeners will be able to learn something about day suits and night suits and protocols as well. So you've been doing your painting. You have this great interest in it. Did you think about a business, or this being a business, or just about getting your painting?
No, it is a business because first I have to pay rates. That's government local taxes. I have to pay lights, electricity. I have to pay for canvas, as you see these big canvases.
So at that time you were thinking of all these things?
Of course, because I was putting layout.
Okay.
So I had to sell to pay and to pay to eat.
Yes,
and to buy paint. I think it is all a business. It's a cottage industry. I mean, people tend to have this idea, I want to do film, I want to do this. And then they say, well, I can't do it, I have no money. But it's only because they're putting the cart before the horse. You never have money. Even the government today is crying out, we have no money. Malawi. I know. But you of course, you have to take it seriously because transportation from A to B, everything costs money. This is the common denominator of the world.
Yeah.
So if you start a small business, you have to think of how you're going to cover your costs.
Yes.
And most of the time, for a long time, what money you make is reinvested. So like myself, I worked for years and years before I could afford a cigar. And a nice glass of, what is it called now? Stinger dark rum.
From Island Slice.
Yes. Because I don't have the luxury of being toujours sous. I have to be sane. I have to drink
So you have
water.
to tell me what toujours sous means.
Always drunk.
Not know. Yes.
That was a name they gave to, God bless his soul, Lewis. He was the son of Sir Arthur Lewis.
Oh.
And he was a scholar. And he was, I suppose, he used to go to this place near the beach. And I think it's still going on in VG. And there's a rum shop, because what I love about my country, even the greatest thinkers.
Saint Lucia?
Oh, yes. They always had rum shops. And if you wanted to find a politician, anybody of importance, you go to a rum shop.
Oh, and you were sure to find them.
You'll find them there. They're working out the problems of the world.
Okay. In the rum shop.
In the rum shop.
Okay.
So, that's how he was known as Tusu.
Okay.
He was a former prime minister for a short time.
Are you referring to Dr. Von Lewis?
That's the man, Dr. Von. He was known as Tusu.
Okay. Well, I can't,
No, he would appreciate it. God bless his soul. He's not thin-skinned. He knows I love him and respect him. And his wife, Shirley Vaughan, serious lawyer, still practices in Saint Lucia.
Okay. From the sun-soaked shores of St. Lucia to the rugged beauty of Scotland, Island Slice rum bridges heritage and craftsmanship like no other. Distilled in the heart of Dumbarton by fourth-generation rum maker, every drop is steeped in Caribbean tradition and Scottish pride. Crafted with legacy, bold flavors, and brave fusion, Island Slice rum isn't just a drink, it's a journey. To secure your bottle of Island Slice rum, visit www.islandslice.co.uk. Remember, drink responsibly. All right, so continue with business. When did you get your first client?
I created him. Because, before I left the Slade, there were two things. the Slade had a lot of pretty girls, and they all were more or less middle class and upper middle class. Because in those days, class was very strong in England. Mm-hmm. And so the Slade is more of a fraternity, and everybody had parties and dinner parties. And so women loved to be pampered and flattered. Mm-hmm. So they'd say, "You're a painter." And before you said yes, they said, "Will you do my portrait?"
Okay.
So you said, "Okay, I'll do your portrait, but it cost you 5 guineas." Mm-hmm. So I always used to do this. And men also too. But I stopped doing portraiture because one of the funny things about portraiture is vanity. Mm-hmm. And people would say, "Oh, that's not like you," and all this and that. And then the people get upset because they wanted the people
the exact replica of themselves.
They wanted a chocolate box, Antonioni photograph of themselves. Mm-hmm. And I was not interested in that. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really like that. So I gave that up.
So what do you do now?
Oh, well, I've given up. I don't paint portraits at all now. That's a long time. That was very long time. I mean, that's
So how would you describe the paintings you do now? What's the inspiration behind
them? The paintings I do now is creating my own voice, my own handwriting, my own language. It's a process of exploring color. And what drew me to painting, first and foremost, was color and the mystery of color.
Yes.
I looked at the sea in Castries at VG Beach and saw all the different blues in the water, the way the sea ebbed and flowed on the sand, how the sand turned brown and the golden and the light, and how the green almond trees on the coastline. These are the things that interested me. Mm-hmm. Because they created a surrealist quality. Imagine. It allowed you to use your imagination. Okay. See? So what I do now is give you a platform to explore your imagination. So you look at the color and it is the open door to dream. I don't have a narrative. I don't want to tell you how you should be. I oppose that kind of thinking. I want you to be open and your mind.
Okay, so you be freely express yourself.
Yes.
And audience, I had the distinct pleasure of being tutored. Myself and some other colleagues. We had a paint and sip, we call it. And so we were expecting Winston to come and give us an image and direct us. And then he said, "No, use your imagination." And we were all stunned for a moment. But I can truly say at the end of that session, there were some fantastic paintings. There were people who did not know they had artistic skills, and they were discovered that evening. So thank you for that experience.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You see, I try to nurture people.
Yes.
Because I think people have qualities. Mm-hmm. I'm not God. I can't judge you. Mm-hmm. But I can encourage you. Mm-hmm. I can say, from my experience, I can say, well, if you try this, maybe you might get a better result. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to tell you that is the way. I don't know the way. I'm discovering it.
Okay.
And one of my favorite poems by Robert Frost is called Road Not Taken. And I'll give you a quick recital. As a lonely traveler, I came across 2 roads. I looked far down the undergrowth of one, where the leaves had turned black, and the other which had not yet trodden on, and I chose the one which had not yet trodden on. And that made all the difference. Mm-hmm. To go where you have to have courage to do what
others have not done.
Yes. Oh, anyway, we're still in a cave. Mm-hmm. No one is brilliant. They become brilliant. Because, I mean, I love Derek Walcott. And I understood his struggle to a degree. Because he came from Saint Lucia. That's a classic. His mother was a seamstress. He was a Methodist. Now, and with all honesty, Saint Lucia is a Catholic country. And the priest ruled on the nest. And Father Jacob, and that's Walcott saying, Father Jess, when he wrote a poem, Father Jess, don't be silly. You can't make a living like that.
Is that Father Charles Jess you refer to?
Yes.
Okay.
He's dead now.
Yes.
He was,
Delete.
but he didn't do it with malice. You see, because sometimes people imagine if people abrupt and unfriendly, then it immediately goes to race. It's not. People are narrow-minded. They have a way of doing things. And if you don't fit in that canon, they kind of become hostile. Because you threaten them.
Yes.
See, you threaten them. So anyway, Walcott published his poem. And then he became the first poet laureate from Saint Lucia.
Yes.
And the second poet laureate of the Caribbean.
Okay.
You see? But so it's a perseverance. And he won endless awards. The Commonwealth Prize and this prize, and he won the MacArthur Prize, which I'm craving to get it.
Okay.
And he won the Guggenheim, which I had. Too.
Okay.
He won it a year before me.
Oh, really? Okay.
But the whole thing about what I say to any young creative person, you must follow your passion. It will not be an easy road, but you have to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, no one will believe in you.
Yes, so it has to start from within.
Absolutely.
In that sense. Okay.
And they say God help those who help themselves.
Yes.
So you can't lay on your backside and say, oh, il va apporter l'argent pour moi. Meaning he's not bringing in the money to me.
Okay.
You have to go find the money.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Winston. That is very insightful and enlightening. And I'm sure that our creatives and other business people can take from that. So as you grow your business, you got that first client. Throughout that time, was it something that was consistent? Did you feel like you needed to employ others to help you? Like an accountant, an agent?
Because of course. Right now, this is my assistant. I pay her money. She doesn't do it for love, even though she pretend to. Everybody, because they put out, they have to be rewarded. I believe in compensation. I think a job well done is you must be compensated. I think the idea of, I learned that more in America than anywhere else.
Okay.
When I was in the United States very early on, in 1973, if you wanted a drink, like you go here, you just buy a drink. But every drink you had in America, you had to give a tip. You couldn't just say thank you.
So you had to cater for this tip and the drink.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so it took me a while because I said, well, I didn't want to drink and I don't want to. And one day, a friend and I were in Manhattan and we had been walking down West Drive and she was thirsty. And we said, oh, we'll go and have a bottle of water. And we stopped at this bar and had 2 bottled waters. And we paid, left the money and walked away. And the waitress rushed out of us and said, but you have no tip.
For the bottle of water?
Yes. I said, a tip for what? She said, but I work for tips. And my friend said, oh, who was a businesswoman? I said, okay, here's $1. And I thought, but we only bought the water. My God.
And she's already in an establishment working.
Yes, always. So I learned that, in a way, that was something important. When people sell their services, that's the common denominator for reward. You can't say, in England, they say thank you. But they don't give you no tip. I like the man as the rich. He would say, he opened the door for you and he said, thank you. And he did, and he coughed and he put his hand out. That is to say, well, grease my palm.
Is your team ready for tomorrow's challenges? Future Fit HR, based in the Caribbean, builds powerful teams with personalized training, executive coaching, and expert labor guidance. Whether you're scaling, managing change, or transforming culture, we deliver sustainable growth. Are you ready to elevate your team? Visit Future Fit HR or email info@futurefithr.com. Okay, so as an artist, sometimes we hear this thing, you know, struggling artist or whatever it is. Has there been a time where you felt, yes, I love this creative business, I love the painting and so on, but it's not cutting it. I want to give up. Has there been a time like that?
Oh, of course. But you don't give up because you weren't making money, because you have to organize yourself to make money, because you are selling something. You know, people have a bad habit of coming to your studio. I say, oh, I like your paintings. You have so many. Let me put one up in my house, and I will let people see it. And you believe that nonsense. And you never see your painting or your money.
Yes.
Because they never tell people
that it's just being advertised.
Yes. So these are the things you learn.
Okay.
As you go older. And you realize, no, because everything costs me money. You know, I buy the stretcher, the paint,
your time, your instruments,
everything,
all of that.
And but they don't think of that. They say, "Ça bon ça, mauvais ça."
So you have to explain for the audience, they may not understand what you say.
They don't know Creole. The thing is, what I just said, when people come to your studio, they say, I like this.
Give it to them.
Yes, give it to me.
How much is it?
And then, no, they never even say how much
Oh,
it is.
they don't ask.
Give it to me. It looks good. I have a place for it. So you say, where's the money?
Yes, and then they look at you.
Yes. Oh,
I'll advertise for you.
You want money?
Okay. So, Winston, we know that your paintings are in galleries. We know that there's a very interesting exhibition coming up later this year. How did you get there?
Where?
In those galleries? I mean...
Well, first of all, I had been very fortunate in the sense that because of the school I went to, the Slade. And so it was a kind of fraternity.
Okay.
And it was a bit
So you help each other, support each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And the people who I knew who taught there were mentors. And they would have parties and invite me, and I meet people. And of course, you go to a party not to drink, but to make contact. And so I met people, and being polite and always saying, come and see my work, come and see my work. And they came and they recommended me. And people talked about me. It's a lot to do with people talking about you and recommending you. But first of all, you must do the work. Because if you don't have anything for them to see, then there's nothing to...
Yes.
You lost your moment. But you can't just stay in the garret and paint. That's not going to work. You have to get out there. You have to write letters. You have to... And I always found letter writing was very useful. Because even if you didn't get a happy response, they knew your name. So that way you were building bridges. And oddly enough, and I give you a very good example for that. Many, many years later, in 1978, I had won the John Simon Guggenheim Prize. Fellowship, not a prize, a fellowship. And secretary took me out for lunch. On the committee, there were these famous, very distinguished American artists. Robert Motherwell, which I admired, and he's always in education. Frank Stella, he just died recently. Very good American painter. Henry Gonzalez, who was then working as a czar of art commissioner in New York. And who was there? And Dory Ashton, my dear friend Dory, who was senior professor at Cooper Union. And I knew Dory since 1973 when I first went to America, because when I taught at Chelsea School of Art, Norbert Linton, who was head of art history and the critic for The Guardian, who later became head of Arts Council in London, and anyway, that's another story. He said to me, I have a friend in New York. When you go to New York, you should call her. So I did. And I called Dory, I met her, but I was going to FIS in 73. Mm-hmm. And so then we talked, and Dory said, come up to Cooper Union and give a tour. And of course, as a young boy, impatient, I thought it was too much to go to Cooper Union from Nashville to New York.
Okay.
So I didn't go. And then she said, well, when you're next in New York, tell me so we can arrange you to do something. Mm-hmm. And of course, I came back to New York in 75, had my first one-man show at Terry Dinton First Art Gallery. Mm-hmm. And I called her and I told her, she said, oh, great, Winston, come down, we'll have lunch and blah, blah, blah. And not knowing the city very well, I took a taxi thinking I'd get there quicker. Mm-hmm. And it was a nightmare. I got there 2 hours late.
Oh, dear.
So I never saw Dory. And because she had a class. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because she was teaching, she was a professor. So I wrote her and apologized. And
yes.
She was a bit standoffish. But the point of the story was, mm-hmm. she knew me personally, which is what the genesis of the story was. Mm-hmm. So although my work was excellent, she was able, on the select committee, to talk personally about me. Mm. And so when I had lunch with the secretary, it's not good to lie, because he said, I did not know what I just told him. He said, do you know Dory Ashton? And I thought to him, I said, yes, I do. And he said, oh, because she spoke up very highly about you mm-hmm. and convinced the other people for you, because I was very young mm-hmm. to get the Guggenheim. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, thank you for letting me know this.
And that's how you end up in Germany, in Berlin?
No, that was something else. That was how I ended up in New York.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
That was the John Simon Guggenheim. But I was saying that I met this person years ago, mm-hmm. and later they came back to play a very important part of my life. Mm-hmm. I met her 73 and 78. She was on a committee that I did not know. And
so you said, that brings us back to when you said about that perception that people have and building an impression when you first meet.
Oh, yeah.
So had you created a different impression, these connections she was able to make for you later on might not have happened in the same way?
I don't know. That's hypothesis. I don't
Yes,
know.
but I'm saying this to support what you're saying, to encourage us to always put our best foot forward.
Of course, yes. You meet people. I always like to talk to everybody. I mean, I met this Antonia. I met her at the Chelsea Arts Club. She was with her fiancé. And I said, hello, how are you?
This is your assistant?
Yes, this one, yeah. And she said, I'm an artist. I just won a prize to come to the arts club. And I said, oh, what did you study? Mm-hmm. She said, the Slade. And that made immediate bond for me. Because that was my alma mater.
Yes, yes.
And I said, oh, great, you know. So you have to always find a connection. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you don't know what will happen. And years later, now she's here.
So, Winston, you haven't told us about the exhibitions yet, eh?
Oh, well.
Yes, you digressed. Yes.
I did. I said, and I'm not even yet had my second glass of single dark rum from
Or perhaps
Ireland.
you should try the Scotch bonnet.
Oh, I will.
Yes.
Okay, so the thing is that...
so I know there are some lost paintings that are being exhibited in Berlin.
Yes, that is coming up in September 10th. Mm-hmm. And for the last year, I've been going backwards and forwards, working on Berlin paintings. I'm very happy to find them because they're part of my life, which I had no idea I'd ever see again. Mm-hmm. They were figurative paintings, which I did before I became interested in non-representational paintings. Mm-hmm. Because that's a journey, you know, learning and unlearning. That's the process I do. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot of stuff and then it's like making a callaloo soup. So the thing is, I was so pleased when I got this email from this German dealer Volker deal. He wrote me a letter saying, we found some of your paintings and I like to come and see you. And I didn't take any, because people always say nonsense to me. So I didn't pay much attention. And then he sent me another email saying, I will be in London and I'll be staying here. Can I meet you? So I talked to my personal representative, Barbara Rosa, and I said, well, we had this meeting with this man, so you must come here.
Yes.
And so he came, and then he said, we have paintings, you showed me. And I couldn't say they were not mine because they were signed. And he said, well, we'll work something out. We give you a percentage. And I said, well, how did you get them? And then he gave me this whole story of how he got them, which was fascinating. And the interesting thing was, because I was juggling between Berlin and New York, and, everybody promises you, well, I'll do this, I'll do that. And you kind of believe in it, that it's all windbag talk. And so whilst I was juggling between New York and Berlin, and I had been in Berlin for quite a long time, I had lots of recognition, but I didn't look old and I don't know what it is. People say, oh, you're too young, which is a nonsense. It's a euphemism to dismiss you when you're black. You're too young, you to do this, you do that. And so you just ignore it. And then, of course, I couldn't pay the rent because I had 2 rents to pay. And the studio was bigger than this whole place here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Because it was given the studio, which was being paid for by the German government for the fellowship in the DRD.
Oh, it was part of that.
Yeah. So then I took it over and they had already extended it for a year more. And I suppose they thought, well, we ain't paying no more for him. And without giving me enough notice. And I thought, well, the people would not be so angry because, it's all part of boosting German propaganda culture. But it was not so. They had some enemies I had made and were going to blow my balloon and bring me down to reality. So that's what happened.
Okay.
So whilst I was in New York juggling with one thing, when I returned to Berlin, they locked up the studio and sold everything. And I went to them and said, what are you doing? And he said, well, we didn't know where to find you. I said, that's nonsense. I have a representation, a lawyer, but he was not good. He stole some himself. He was a bobbolist.
Well, I'm very glad that you were able to be reunited. Not in the same way, but it gives you an opportunity to see those paintings, work on them.
Oh, yes.
And the persons who receive them acknowledge that, there's something
and
there for
actually, what is going to be great about all of this is that when I make my major retrospective, I will have early works because the works that were in Berlin that were taken were works that I'd done when I was a student.
Okay.
Yeah, which,
so you could see your genesis in a way.
Absolutely. Yes. Because I had none of them. I mean, I had a few early works in museums.
Yes.
Like rugby, but it was a lot.
And rugby is also featuring you sometimes
too.
Yes.
It's the 80th anniversary next year. And I have a work there called West Indian, which is not really, it shouldn't be called West Indian. It should be called something else, but that's another story.
That's another story. Okay.
But yes, it's a figurative work. And they were here and they wanted some more little sketches. Because, people tend to like representational painting because they can identify with the symbolic of it. Whereas these, they like it, but it's a bit unnerving.
Okay.
Because they say, well, sasaye, what is that? And you say, it's color.
What color are you talking about?
So, but color is important to our life.
Yes, it is.
So anyway, it takes them a while. But when they see what you did before, they say, oh, that's okay then.
So then they have an understanding
yes.
of the process and the genesis.
Yes.
Okay, Winston. Thank you for all. I mean, I'm blown away. Well, I expected to be blown away by the knowledge, the experiences, the support that you offer and all of that. And I'm sure we could continue for another hour, couldn't we?
I'm not going anywhere.
But we have to bring it to a close. Perhaps we can have another conversation after your Berlin experience.
Sure.
So we can learn more about that.
Of course.
But before we go, you did give some of, you alluded to some of the things that aspiring creatives can do. But if we can enumerate them now and maybe identify succinctly 3 steps you would recommend for anybody wanting to get into, whether it be painting or the visual arts.
First and foremost, you must believe in yourself. And what you bring to the table is uniqueness. Now, I don't want you to run around saying, I'm a genius.
Yes.
That's nonsense.
Yes.
Your uniqueness is your personality. To find your inner voice. And you just...
What's authentic to you.
Yes.
Okay.
And don't let anyone stamp on your dream. Because in this world, to be different is to be difficult. And it's not difficult. It is just not being appreciated at the moment. So therefore, there's a lot of hostility. And it's not of bad intent or any malice. People are like what they are familiar with.
Yes.
And
so they're comfortable.
Yes. So when you put them out of their comfort zone, you must expect a little prickliness. But that doesn't mean you cannot pursue your dream. And I wish everybody, no matter from a bottle, top washer, whatever you do, do it with integrity and honesty. As Shakespeare said, to be true to thyself, first of all. And secondly, Cassius says to Brutus, the fault, dear Brutus, does not lie within the stars. It lies within us. So you are not to blame other people for your missteps. No one has to help you, not even your mother, who brought you into this world. You have to help yourself.
Okay.
You have to help yourself first and foremost and believe in your dream. And I've always done. And it's not been easy. But that's why I lived in so many different parts of the world. Because if it wasn't going good in London, and it has not been always peachy creamy, or even in Saint Lucia, you have to move. You just go. And not be afraid to go.
Okay. So would that be the third one, not be afraid to go?
Yes, not be afraid to move. Not afraid to change. If something, you never will get a round top in a square hole.
Yes.
You know, so
you move until you find the place you're supposed to be.
It's a long road.
Yes.
It's not an overnight thing. I'm 78. It took me a long time.
Wow.
You know, it's not, people say, oh, you look 45. I said, yeah, around my waist, but not in my head. But it doesn't matter. The tortoise always gets there. Slowly, but surely you will get there. Don't worry to be a shining star that blow up like that. Just believe in yourself, be patient, but be consistent. Talent is not everything.
But consistency.
Consistency and longevity is the key for success. You hear, oh, boy wonder was this and that. But boy, early success is harder because you have to sustain it. Or you become a has-been. Oh, he was a has-been.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
yes. Okay.
You just believe in yourself. Everybody started small. John D. Rockefeller started small.
And then he grew gigantic.
Exactly. Standard Oil.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all that wisdom, knowledge, experience, Winston. Audience, you can follow Winston or you can check him out at www.winstonbranch.com. Correct?
Yes.
And you can listen out and see when his next exhibition is probably close to you or if you're in London. Thank you for listening and watching Begin, Build, Blossom. I'm your host, Angela Sindenis. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your network. We can begin, build, and continue to blossom. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you very much.
This episode was brought to you by CME Accounting for all your small business accounting needs. Ireland Slice Rum for a taste of Saint Lucia and the Caribbean in the heart of Dumbarton, Scotland. And Future Fit HR for all your HR tech needs. This was the final episode for Season 2. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. We look forward to you joining us again in Season 3, which commences in the fall. Bye for now. A quick note before we wrap up. The insights and experiences shared by our guests are their own. We love creating space for real conversations about business and growth, and everyone's journey is unique. Therefore, this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. It is not meant to replace legal, financial, or other professional advice. So, we encourage you to take what's useful, do your own due diligence, and build what works best for you.
Thanks for listening to Begin, Build, Blossom Your Business Journey. We hope today's conversation gave you the insights and inspiration you need to move forward on your own path. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Do you have feedback? We'd love to hear from you at podcast@cmeaccountingllc.com.